Hi, boys and girls, and welcome to today's math lesson. Let's take a look at today's essential question. Our essential question is, what are halves, thirds, and fourths of a whole? That's right, if you haven't already guessed it, today we're going to be talking about fractions. So let's turn the page. We're going to skip the first page and move on to the next page. Today's lesson will begin on page 748 of your Go Math workbook. Let's take a look at the top in the light purple shaded area. The green rectangle is a whole. It can be divided into equal parts. Equal parts means that the pieces are the same size and the same shape. It's like just when I'm making my pizza. All the same slices, they all have to be the same size and the same shape. Or else the customers, they get mad at me. The first example shows the rectangle being divided into two halves, two equal pieces. And when they're divided into two equal pieces, each piece is called a half. Our second green rectangle is divided into three equal pieces, and we call those thirds. Another way to write third is a 1 over a line with a 3. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. One of three pieces. And in our final example, they divided the rectangle into four equal pieces, and each piece is referred to as a fourth. We could also refer to them as quarters, as in 4 quarters make $1. And we write 1/4 like that. All right, let's go down and check out our 6 problems we're going to do together. I hope you're opened up to page 748 in your Go Math workbook because we are going to do these together, you along with me. And then when we're done, it'll be a time for the pizza. Hey! No, not pizza, not yet. Aww. All right, let's take a look at the directions. Write how many equal parts there are in the whole. And then write halves, thirds, or fourth to name the equal parts. So let's take a look at number 1. We have a green trapezoid. And how many parts was that divided into, boys and girls? I heard someone say 2, so let's put it 2 equal parts. And what do we call 2 equal parts? Halves, very good. And the plural of half is halves, where we change the F into a V and add ES. All right, what about number 2? They've taken the rectangle and divided it into how many equal parts? I heard that blonde-haired girl say 3 equal parts. Thank you, blonde-haired girl. And what do we call 3 equal parts? The boy in the front row, sitting on his couch. Thank you, thirds. It looks like a comfy couch. All right, now for the purple circle. How many equal parts was that shape divided into? I heard someone call out 4. Please don't call out. Raise your hands. Just kidding. I can't see you anyway. Is it the time for the pizza now? No. Aw. And what do we call 4 equal parts? Fourths. All right, let's move down to number 4. They have a rectangle divided into how many equal parts? The young man with the red hair said 3. And we call 3 equal parts thirds. Make sure you're spelling these words right, boys and girls. There's no reason to spell them wrong because they're written for us at the top of the page. All right, what about number 5? How many parts? All right, I hear someone said 2. 2 equal parts. They're the same size and same shape. And two equal parts are known as halves. Or halves with a V. And finally, the red rectangle is divided into 4 equal parts. And we call that fourths. Very nice, boys and girls. You did a nice job on that page. And now we'll celebrate with a slice of a pepperoni pizza. No, I said. It's never time for pizza around here. That pizza chef is starting to get on my nerves. All right, let's turn to page 749. All right, boys and girls, you're going to do this page on your own. For numbers 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, you will write the number of equal parts and the name of those equal parts. For number 13, if you like, you can zap the QR code and watch the Math on the Spot video, and then answer the question, which tells us to draw to show halves, and then they want you to write a sentence and explain how you know that the parts are halves. So over here, you'll draw a picture to show halves, and then explain how you know they're halves. So right now, you can pause the video and complete this page, and when you're ready to check your answers, press play, and we'll see how you did. All right, I'm assuming you're ready to check your answers because you pressed play. All right, I'm just going to fill in the answers, check them off on your page. This hexagon was divided into 2 equal parts, and we call those halves. And our next one, our square, was divided into 4 equal parts. We call those fourths. 3 equal parts for number 9. Sides. 3 equal parts again for number 10. Sides. 4 equal parts for number 11. And those are fourths. It's right in the answer, 4 fourths. And 2 equal parts for the triangle, which are halves. All right, did you get 100%? I'm sure you did. All right, so for number 13, they want us to draw to show halves. So you could have drawn any shape you wanted. You could have drawn a square. I'll draw a few of them. You could have drawn a circle, triangle, and then just divide them into halves. And then over here, I will explain why each shape is divided into halves. How I know that they are divided into halves. So I would write, the pieces are the same shape and size. Or the pieces are the same size and same shape. That's how I know that they're halves. All right, you're on page 750. We're going to do number 14, sort the shapes. We have to draw an X on shapes that do not show equal parts. Use red to color the shapes that show thirds, and use blue to color the shapes that show fourths. All right, so I'm going to get out my red marker and X out the ones that don't show equal parts. That one looks good. So does that one. I don't know about this one. No, they're not equal. Take a look. This has a nice big square, but this has a little itty bitty rectangle. So it's a big old no. This one looks good. These all look equal. Those look equal, as does the hexagon and that square, but not this trapezoid. Those pieces are not equal. Here we've got 2 rectangles, two triangles and a rectangle. Those aren't equal. All right, so we've X'd out 2 shapes. Now, for the rest, we are going to color in the shapes in red that show thirds. Let's find one that shows a third. Well, over here, this is thirds. 3 equal shapes. Oh, there's another one down here. It's almost like the same one. Just turned. Do we see any other thirds? Nope, I do not. Now we'll use our blue marker to color in the shapes that show fourths. This circle does. My blue kind of looks purple. And this one shows fourths. So does this square. And the other 2 shapes are half, so we're not going to touch them at all. All right, and that is number 14. Let's take a look at number 15. So for number 15, we have 3 squares. And what they want us to do is to divide them into fourths. So that means I'm not going to do it each one like this, because that's the same way each time. We need to divide them into fourths in 3 different ways. Think about that for a second. I'll give you 5 seconds. Here's some thinking music. All right, your thinking music time is up. All right, so, whoops, that's the wrong pen. So we could take the first one and divide it that way into 4 little squares. We could have also made an X, divided it into triangles. And then we also could have divided it into, and try the best you can. It's really hard to make these all equal, so we'll pretend that these are 4 equal parts. All right, and there we have it. And now we have to explain how you know the parts are fourths. We know it because the 4 parts, are the same size and the same shape. And that completes page 750. And that means it's time for my delicious pepperoni pizza I made with my own hands, which of course I sanitized and washed. Well, if you want to have pizza, that's up to you and Mom or Dad. But for now, you have to turn to page 751 and 752. Complete that homework page, take a picture of it, and post it on Seesaw. And that concludes today's math lesson. And now it's a pizza time! Abundanza!